Oh, I got moved. There we go.
All right, everybody, welcome to Geek Together. We're just going to jump right into it today. We always run out of time. It's always takes so long. I've been looking for this conversation for a while. We talked a while back setting it up, and I think it's good timing, given all the activity you have going on. So, First, this is your host, Damien, and with me is
Robbie
and Clint.
And our special guest, Johnny Dean from Leftover Toys. Welcome again.
Hello.
It's been a while since I think you were on San Diego Comic-Con a year ago.
Yep. Yeah, about a year exactly, right before the Leftover Toys announcement.
Right before, as a matter of fact, because I changed all the logos when I was posting the videos and everything because I was hoping to fly.
Yeah, we're 3 days away from the 1 year anniversary.
Wow. Yeah, so right about it. Well, congratulations on the 1 year anniversary. You've had a lot of activity. I was actually we're going to go into it in a second where we have the cool things we got this week, and I have a couple waffles on order with you. That
yeah, I saw your name pop up in my orders the other day.
I show up often, I think. So I was hoping to get those already, but because usually you're like on top. Like usually I order ship.
Yeah, shipping has usually been really next day. With the wildfires here, I have not been getting out as much just because the smoky air has been killing my lungs.
I just thought it was a constant fire, like an everlasting flame now. Like what's that thing up in Canada? What's the they have a flame that's never gone out. Christina, if only she was here, she could tell me.
That sounds deadly.
In Ottawa, the Eternal Flame. Thank you, Gary. Gary's on the Eternal Flame.
A Canadian.
In Ottawa, it's like this flame that just doesn't go out. It's by the capital there. I remember visiting it with my wife, and there you go. That's wildfires in the North Pacific.
Yeah,
Pacific Northwest.
My least favorite part about living here.
Yes. It's a beautiful area.
Yeah.
Other than that,
I was there last week and just loved it. It was great.
Yeah, you're in Oregon last week, right? Drinking lots of wine.
Hanging out in wine country. Yeah, it was great. Hard to come back.
Centennial Flame. Thank you, Gary. Well, yeah, I just trusted you on the first part. You could have lied. Nobody was going to.
He used the slang term first, and then he went to the official name.
All right. Well, let's jump into it. I want to get talking with Leftover of all the things you're working on. But first, let's go through what we got cool this week. We'll let Johnny go last on that one because I think he has something cool. But Robbie, you go first.
The coolest item I got this week.
Oh, look at me. I'm just highlighting me. Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Shocker. I got
yes.
5-inch Champu.
Lightning shipping on that.
Yeah, I was going to say, they ship fast for them, especially.
Yep. And I also got this cool hat.
It is a cool hat.
From Sully.
I like that you left the stickers on because you're cool. You're a cool guy like that.
I was telling Gary during the SAC show, I was thinking of leaving the hanger tag on it too, just to be funny. Just hanging out of the hole right here.
What number did you get?
43.
43.
Oh, so close to 42.
Yep. So, those are my cool things.
Nice. If I wore a hat more often, I would definitely consider getting one of those because I like the design of that a lot.
It's cool. I have a big head, so it's still, even though it's a large, it's still a little tight on my head. But
and what's with the brim? You bent it a little bit there, huh?
No, it came. Well, for me, it's bent, but it came this way.
Sully likes the bent brim, man. He doesn't do the flat hat.
He's old school. I get it.
Old school. Yeah.
Sorry, Johnny.
Yeah, that's a hard pass for me. Anytime I see the bent bills, I'm just hard pass.
Yeah,
I love the font though.
I have the all my Funko hats flat brand. I can do either or. It doesn't. Either one affects me.
Go both ways.
They don't fly in my face.
So.
All right. Well, cool. Well, good mail call. It looks like Clint had a similar one. All right, Clint.
Yeah. Well, I did have that, but I actually have two things I want to show off. I know it's breaking the rules, but I'll go quick.
No, we allow it.
So first of all, Jungle Bry of his Jungle Movie podcast and his streaming from Funko came out with his own collectible card.
Yeah.
I thought this was really cool. What I really like about it, like the colors are fun and the design's fun, but the back is hilarious. I'm not gonna spend time reading it now. I'll let him share that when he's ready. But it's factual and hilarious all at the same time. So I love that he's doing this. Came in this unbreakable case basically, and it's a series. It's number one of I don't know how many they're gonna do. So, but anyway, I thought that was really cool to share something a little local. But then I got I mentioned earlier. Few episodes back, I got my micro NES Quicks for my birthday. Well, that was only part one of the gift. I got part two this week, and it is badass. To show you guys, it is the Sank 8-bit digital piece there. Just looks really cool. Love the
Oh,
pixelated
the
art
Mario,
on it.
yeah, that's really cool. Yeah.
It's magnet. I don't know if you guys knew that or not. So
No, I did not know that.
yeah, I don't know who knows what about Sank, but they make some really quality pieces here. So I will look forward to showing this on my designer toy shelves. But anyway, I
Yeah,
love this
I
thing.
mean, that fits your collection for sure. Yeah.
100%. I don't know if you guys have seen, for anybody that isn't familiar with Sank, excuse me, if they all do this, but the box is really cool. It
Sync
came in-
is my other toy company. Sync.
right. But I love it comes in a wooden box, which I thought was really kind of neat.
I aspire to do something like that one day. I love their wooden boxes.
Yeah.
That laser etching that they do is so nice.
Yeah.
Does all of them come in that? Every
Not
single
all
one
of
of their
them.
drop?
Not all of them, but a lot of them. Yeah.
Yeah, but I thought,
Wow.
and I know we've talked about packaging and how important that is, and there it is. So
Yep, that's they definitely don't skimp on it.
no,
Definitely in the price of the toy.
I know it wasn't a cheap gift. So again, I thank you guys for amazing gifts for my birthday back in June. So
That looks
thank you.
awesome. It looks awesome
Yeah.
out of box, and I always saw his pictures. So that's really cool. Well,
So,
awesome.
anyway,
That's
cool.
great.
Thank you. Anyway,
All right. Well, I got two things as well. First, I finally got my 3-inch Ecto Tiny Ghost from Fugitive without a coin. That's a feature for my ghosts. Not to be burdened and weighted down with a coin, you know. So
the glow on these is amazing, though.
glow is good, and of course we have the mini and we have the 5-inch, so it fits well. And then the
Screw
other thing,
you guys with the mini.
Robbie joined me, or John joined me. Robbie sent me something. I got a package from Robbie. It's really cool. So I got these, which is perfect timing, giving the release of the new Masters of the Universe, on Netflix. So this is a pretty cool case. This is the Castle Grayskull, but it's a set of collectible tiki
Oh,
toothpick holders.
major toothpick
Fantastic.
holders. Very cool.
They're fantastic. I love that. Yeah, Robbie sent me his package. Yes, over the mail. Thank you, Christina. Yeah, for picking that up. So yeah,
That's
I
cool.
love this thing, and the case is just awesome.
Yeah,
Look at
it's
that.
really
Look at
cool
that.
case.
It's a really cool case. So really happy to get that. There's a few other things in that Robbie's package delivers. So and many things in there.
Just like
as
a
well.
sack. Before you move on, what have you thought of the new series?
Oh, I liked it a lot. I really enjoyed it. It's getting mixed reviews, which is really funny because I grew up watching the original, and I have so much nostalgia for the original Masters of the Universe and the characters and stuff. But I definitely had a big disconnect from reading the comics and watching the show to being an adult and being into buying the toys and just into the figures, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or into the characters, because Skeletor is one of the most iconic for me.
Yeah, Bob.
One of my most iconic figures ever created, and I love anything that's Skeletor. He's just so badass. I went back and watched the original cartoon series with my kids, and it's horrible.
Yeah.
It's campy. It's just funny. It's really it's terrible. Like,
Anything, yeah.
I tried to watch it.
It is
Nope.
terrible,
Nope. Not happening.
terrible. And I watched this one, and it's fun. I mean, they have some knockbacks to some of the cheesiness, but not too much.
But it's a callback,
darker.
for it, right.
It has some of the dad jokes and that kind of stuff. It's darker for sure. Yes, He-Man's not the center of the show right now, but this is only part 1 with 5 episodes. There's a part 2 coming out later,
Okay.
and I hope it continues. I really enjoyed it. I don't really try to expect them to do what they've always done forever, right? I think that's ridiculous. It's like the Star Wars fans that just get all like. First of all, I don't know in what world fans feel like they own what they're doing, right? And I think people build up in their head what they'd love to see so much that it's often a disappointment. I mean, if you do that, I didn't do that. I just went in just to be entertained, and I was entertained. The Skeletor is awesome. The Scareglow is fantastic. Christina was watching it with me. I was watching it, and I was like a kid, like oh Trapjaw, oh Beastman, oh Clawful. Like I'm just like calling out the names of the characters as they show up. They had so many of them. It was so cool, and so I don't know. For what it's worth, I really enjoyed it. It's fun. Like it's not going to be life changing.
No, but good. That's good. I felt the same way about the X-Men 90s cartoon, by the way. That it was just awful now. And
Oh yeah, you
I
watch it
tried
now.
rewatching that recently, and oh my god, it was a nightmare.
I got through it, but damn, did I have to struggle. But yes, I understand.
It was like I watched it with my kids, the original one, and they couldn't get through it. And I looked at them finally. I was like, "Yeah, I can't. It's like punishment. I can't do this to you." But the new one, like we sat down and watched it. Like Morgan watched it. Dylan got into it.
Nice.
Christina was watching it. Peyton loves it. I mean, it was a good show. It really was. Look, do I think it's going to be like up there as rated the best animated series of all time? No, I don't. But I think Kevin Smith did a great job. and it's a lot. It's just it is what it is. Like I'm reading, of course I'm on Masters of the Universe Twitter. Of course I am, but and it's just crazy to see some of the fans and how much they hate things. But I think but for them I think it's a bonus because I think they just wanted to hate things.
Yeah.
So it was a
like
good
they
favor
went in
for
already
them.
knowing.
Yeah, like they went in wanting to hate it, right? So for me it's just really expensive because the Scareglow was released this week at San Diego Comic-Con. Mondo has 2 figures coming out that I have to get, the Skeletor and the Scareglow, the 1/6 figures from Mondo, and those are expensive.
Mm-hmm.
And I have no room, but I'm never going to pass up a Skeletor piece. So anyway, all right,
cool.
So enough of that.
Anyway, just want to get your thoughts because I know everybody knows you're a Motu fan.
Yep, great show.
Save the best
I
for last.
I recommend it, and don't have huge expectations. It is a cartoon. I mean, it's fun.
Mark Hamill's the voice of Skeletor. How bad can it be?
Mark Hamill's in it. There's a lot of people when you start
love
listening
that.
to it. A lot of people are in there. So
very cool.
all right, Johnny, let's go over to you. You have the that's
All
your
right.
turn. What do you have cool this week?
Well, sorry, I just had a cat join me on my lap.
That's all right.
I've had the cat for about 10 years. This is nothing new. Cat thinks it's a dog.
We have kids. You're fine. We get it.
This is Bogey.
Oh, hi, Bogey.
Nice to
For the
meet you,
people
Bogey.
at home.
Gary knows all about the cats.
Mm-hmm.
But as most people and myself have been super excited about, I got my prototype for my recently announced figure a couple days ago. And that is Channel, for those of you watching who haven't been following my post on Instagram. I wish I could give you guys a little bit better look at it right now. But since it's all in pieces, the actual figure itself comes in 10 different pieces.
Wow.
It has 4 removable legs, 2 removable knobs, and a removable antenna, as well as a removable transparent screen that's going to be on the front. In total, it uses 22 magnets.
Wow.
So all of the pieces are going to be completely modular, meaning that you're going to be able to kind of switch them between any of the variations, kind of create little variations of your own unique creations. For those of us, I know that, the customizing community is kind of, it's nice because we can do something that takes a lot of time and a lot of patience. And there's a lot of people that want to find an entry level into that doesn't require them to go out and spend hundreds of dollars on supplies, the patience and tearing out hair of practicing. And I feel like that's what made this really cool, is it allows people to just mix and match it in a way that makes it their own. But here's the body all set up for molding.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And then little antenna set up there. Yep. The rest of the pieces are nothing exciting, so I'll save those. But I'm really, really excited to get started on this project. It's been in the works secretly for like the last 3 or 4 months, and it has been near impossible for me to keep my mouth shut. Like anytime I start working on something, I'm like, here, let me post an irrelevant tease of like a foot or something strange that nobody's going to have context for. But this one, I really did my best to just keep my mouth shut.
I thought it was neat on the reveal how you did it, like it was not coming, like it was blurry, like the signal wasn't coming, the reception was bad.
Yeah. I definitely wanted to add a little bit more theatrics to it. Build on the character.
You have a good picture on Instagram, if you don't mind me sharing.
No, I don't mind you sharing it.
The concept here. Here we go. Let me share this. Here you go. So there, everybody can see, and we'll link the Instagram here so people can follow. Thank you, Clint.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of where my head's at right now for like the open edition colorway that I want to come out with first.
Very cool.
Yeah, I've gotten a lot of good feedback on that, so that's kind of where I'm leaning so far.
No, I definitely like the face on it. It's cute. I like there's a lot you could do, and I know it's going to be interchangeable, so that'll kind of build. But even from somebody that would think about custom things you could do screens, you could do. You look at the retro TV; it's missing like some, aluminum foil on the top of the antennas, and
that's a great idea. Somebody brought up the other day,
like a coat hanger on one side of it.
There you go.
That's fantastic. Somebody brought up doing the vertical rainbow bars that you would see at the end of the broadcast.
Yes.
Stuff like that. That there's just a lot of like novelty to it.
Damien, click
the poltergeist one. What?
Click over real quick to the next picture. No, sorry. Well, that one too. But I was talking about in that same picture, there's 2 pictures in that frame.
Yeah. Right.
So that really shows the interchangeable parts.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah. That'll highlight the diagram for, what can be removed and how it'll be switched around. I really wanted to give people a
Very
really good
ambitious with
idea.
all those pieces and stuff.
Yeah,
As
right?
somebody who
Yeah, for my
creates things, that's a lot of work.
there's a lot of engineering that went into the design of this, a lot of measuring. I drafted it up several times before I kind of nailed down how everything was going to fit. I kind of did it a little bit backwards because I was like, okay, if I'm using magnets, I need to design this with the magnets that I'm going to be using in mind. So I got the magnets first so that I could figure out the exact size that I would need for all of the connecting holes and everything like that. So a little bit of reverse engineering there. But yeah, it's a little ambitious for my third official figure.
Right.
But I really wanted to do something that was different than everything I had done previously.
I like it.
Here, while we're here, these are the waffles that I ordered. Loving those still.
I was super proud of those. Those are the first figures I've actually cast in my own
Right,
pressure
'cause
pot
before-
out of my own studio.
Very nice. Awesome. All right.
That is
Well,
awesome.
I think channel is fantastic. Let me end the sharing here.
I'd ask where he came up with a name, but that's pretty obvious.
Well, I think it's a clever name too, right?
I do too.
Channel rather than TV. I think channel is pretty cool.
Believe it or not, there's a big list that actually came, and I narrowed it down to the most obvious choice. I tried being clever, I tried being witty, and at the end of the day, it was just like, this figure is going to be something that people can change to be whatever they want it to be.
Wow.
Changing the channel, it was right there,
Oh, right on.
and I thought it was perfect.
I would agree.
So I know you showed that you're making molds of it. Now
Yeah.
this is a very ambitious figure, not only just if you were manufacturing it, but being that you're casting it and molding it and making it, it's gonna be a lot of work to make each figure.
Yeah, there's going to be
for
a
you.
lot put into each figure.
So is the plan to keep doing the resin and pouring it, and those are going to be the releases initially?
Yeah, definitely. I love what I've been doing with casting so far, and I expected it to feel more laborious, that's for sure. But in what I've experienced over the last 2 months, getting everything set up and running, I've been having a lot of fun. I feel like there's a lot more instant gratification. When you think of a great idea, you're able to kind of just rush it over to the studio, throw the idea together, and kind of test it out. I think Jason from Barely is a great example of that, because he's always coming up with these cool concoctions when he's casting his figures. And that's just not possible when you're having to, unfortunately, outsource to other artists for casting and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm definitely one of those people who likes getting experimental as much as possible, and having the space and the resources is just instrumental in that for me.
Now you're making your own molds down too, though, right?
Yeah. All my
mold,
molds, all my casting. Yeah. Everything from the ground up I'm trying to do, with the exception of my 3D sculpting, because no matter how much I try to 3D sculpt or learn how to 3D sculpt, I just fall on my face every single time. So maybe some classes are in order or something like that.
Well, I think we were talking last week to Steph on the show, Stephanie, who's doing, she's just beginning getting into toys and doing her own design. And actually many artists we've talked to about it, like nobody does it all. I mean, Jason,
it's hard to wear all the hats.
Jason, I think Jason, but he's a Renaissance man of this stuff. I mean, that's what he's doing, right? But I mean, he usually outsources his molds anyway. He doesn't want to deal with it. But he does casting. Obviously, he does his 3D modeling or sculpting and making it. But most people do outsource a piece of it. Like, you can't do everything. Usually,
I
people
don't
aren't
think we
great
want
at
you
everything.
to either, because we want you to focus on what you're good on to really make a great piece. So
yeah, you get spread too thin,
Yeah.
at a certain level.
Right.
With channel, I really wanted to make sure. That's why I'm thinking it's going to be a lot smaller runs than I think what people are typically used to with my other figures. You won't see anything in like the 20, 30 piece range. It'll probably be 10, 15 pieces. But, with that, it'll also come with a little bit higher price tag because of the technicality behind the figure. And fortunately for me, I also got, my airbrushing setup and everything now, which allows me to give a much better finish and much cleaner product in the end. I feel like over what I was doing in my small Seattle apartment, just merely 6 months ago.
I see the pressure pot behind you right there. I got one.
Yeah, just hanging out.
I got a couple of those in my dining room, actually, 2 of them, because we've moved up production to.
Jeez, yeah, that's where I'm already at. I'm like, do I need a second pressure pot?
I'm telling you, well, you do, because you don't understand. Once you get something in the pressure pots, like, it's forever, and you just want to work on something else. So
yeah,
to keep things going. So we actually have we only have 2 molds of Dahlia. We ordered 2 more, so we're gonna have 4 molds going. We have 2 pot. I mean, you just like quadrupled. You're able to throw it. So even like when you're pouring these things, it's like if you're doing one at a time, it just takes so long.
Yeah.
Because you have to wait for the curing time. Now, and with something like channel, when you're pouring multiple molds, it's not like you can use the 2-minute workable time stuff like Jason's using with the kaiju ames and stuff like that. Like, you just can't. There's no way you can sit there and stir for a minute, pour it in. You got to do slow cure, because we're the same bit. We have 4 molds for Dahlia: the head, the body, the tail, and the arms. And you can't. I mean, we've looked at ways to engineer. Maybe we can get more. We can settle it down to like a 1-piece throughput or something like that. But even then, you can't use the quick cure stuff, because you're not just pouring it into one thing and then letting it set. You have to. So that time it takes. So then when you're using the slow cure, you're looking at. You could probably push it and take things out in 12 hours, depending on the size, especially if they're bigger. It's funny. The larger the volume of the resin, the quicker it cures. And then the smaller pieces, like your antenna, probably take much longer.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about. With everything being two-piece molds, fortunately, if it's still a little flexy when I first pull it out, I should be able to set it aside. It'll stiffen up, continue doing its thing. But yeah, having that second pressure pot, I feel like will be integral to eventually being able to alternate back and forth with my XL waffles, because I was casting some of those last week. I ended up getting a gang mold to where I'm able to do 3 big ones and 3 of the cones simultaneous. And that felt like a feat in and of itself. But, I felt like if I had more pieces going on, that it was going to get kind of trickier, which was something I started kind of thinking about with channel. So yeah, I'm going to have to do, slow cure resin, making sure that I'm really thinking about the best possible ways to engineer my molds, which is why I feel like I've only got 2 molds out of the 4 molds that I'll need, because I've got the mold for the body, the mold for the antenna, the mold for the screen, and then the mold for the legs and knobs, which is like it produces all 6 in one run.
Right. That makes sense. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. It's for us, we just found, this is the only way really to scale is to have more, so you can put things under pressure. Especially we're starting to do things where it's like 2-part, 2 pours, double cast, whatever. And so when you start doing that, you're talking about 2 rounds of curing, and you want to be able to work on the first part while the second part's going, or else you have to wait a full 24 hours to get it done. And it just slows you down, because we're working on a release right now. It's going to be here in a couple weeks. And you just need to be able to up production. And then if you have any mistakes,
do you guys typically use like Illuminite or Illumilite products or Smooth On products?
We're using for what's it called, for the cure, for the casting material itself. Yeah, Illuminite. But we're using specialty resin.
Oh, okay.
For the clear, and it's a longer work time, so it's a 40-minute work time. So it gives you a lot more.
That's where I'm looking, is like, what am I going to use for something clear for my screen? There's so many options out there, but whenever you get into anything clear, it's always a much slower cure time, I feel
much slower. So the stuff we use for like just the white molding is like an 8 to 12-minute work time and a 1-hour cure time. That's perfect. It's fine.
Yeah, you're like painting before the afternoon.
Yeah, it's fine. It's no problem, right? It's the deep pour clear stuff. If you really run it crystal clear, like I use some of the stuff that Jason uses for the quick set, but it doesn't get crystal clear. I don't know if you've seen any of his, and that's not what he's going for, right? It's not crystal clear. It's clear enough, but you'll still have a little bit there. Maybe sometimes it does. Maybe it's just the ones I have or I've seen. But the ones I have you can go deep pour. I bought one on accident that was a deep pour clear epoxy resin that's for tabletop deep pouring, but it takes 70, and it was no joke, 72-hour cure. And I'm like, okay, that's not going to work. That's not going to work.
72
that's not going to work.
It reminds me of when I first started casting. I was just buying all sorts of random stuff off Amazon and the internet. And I'm like, okay, I'll try some of this, maybe. And I was just horrified when I found out later that I could be using stuff that would cast in like 12 hours. I'm like, I've been wasting how much time?
Yeah. So the white, I mean, I can't find a pure white that's a long cast, but it's almost like a creamy or color from specialty resin but I think the on cast stuff, there's a bright white that's a slow cast. And when I say slow cast, it's like you have a 12-minute work time and a 1-hour cure time.
Yeah, I like the Smooth On 305. For
Smooth
me,
On,
that seems to, that gives me the best work time. And I think it cures in about an hour, but yeah, about 12 minutes or so. And if I'm using my big syringe to inject the mold, it's even easier because I feel like there's a lot less chance of shaky hands or overpour or anything like that.
Yeah, we were using a syringe and stuff. What I hate about that part of it is that they're just gone after you've used them,
See, I actually found these great syringes on Amazon. Give me just 1 second.
Well, this is important stuff. Yeah, we will wait.
About time. Jesus, took you forever.
I know, right? It's the nice thing about being able to run away to my studio. So I got these big guys here, and I can actually show you an example because I've got some resin still up here in the tip. What I always do is I use it, I squeeze out whatever resin is in there, but I leave about 5 milliliters of resin in the thing. I let it cure completely. And the nice thing about the insides of these are they're non-stick. So if you're able to work it the right way, you should just be able to give it a little twist and pull, and that little piece of resin will come out of there. It's going to be embarrassing. It wouldn't want to work. And then you've got your tool all back to normal again. Then you just pull out your little bits of resin that are stuck in here. You put your rubber piece back on there, and then everything's good to use again. As long as you don't have any little loose bits of resin or anything like that could potentially get inside your new batch and contaminate, you shouldn't have any worries. But it sure beats having to throw these things away. That was my big worry.
Because we bought a bunch of disposable syringes for the smaller pieces, because we were finding when you poured them, if you over poured the top, you could inadvertently cause bubble, it'll capture and create larger bubbles inside the work if you overfill the spout. So it's either going with a funnel or something like that would be great. We've done things like just little, the little paper, the water drinking cups, the little triangular looking.
Yeah.
Just cut the bottom of those off and make that like a funnel.
Great idea.
And they're cheap. They're like cents. They're nothing. You can buy a bunch of them. It's like what you see at the water cooler.
And they're paper, so at least they're a lot more compostable, recyclable, disposable in general.
But even then, as long as it's cured, you can reuse them pretty well because you're not going to worry about things coming out. You just cut it again and pop the hole in it, whatever. So we've come up with things like that to try to use to make it easier to pour these things. Because again, the next figure Christina comes up with, I want just a single mold. Just a single mold, easy pour, make 4 of them in a row. Let's do that. Yeah.
That's why I love doing rebut and waffle now that I'm looking back. Because the dump mold style and being able to fill something out, pop it out in one piece, it's so nice, and the cleanup is so minimal. You really are just sanding off that stump, that base at the bottom. But when you get into more complex pieces like Dahlia, I'm sure that it gets extremely meticulous trying to clean it up, make sure it's where you want it to be.
Yeah, you learn a lot in those processes I'm sure you've learned. You start making mold. When did you start making your molds? Recently, right?
Picking back up from, because I did it a little bit 2 years ago. It wasn't for me. I just wasn't having success. But then, picking back up on it was only a few months ago, 3-4 months ago. But I've done tiny little mold projects here and there. I've made molds for school and stuff like that.
Sure.
But this is my first time getting back into molding for my own work.
Fantastic. Yeah. And so there's a lot to learn in that process of creating the mold, how much to use, measuring it. We had a problem. I don't know if you've ever had this problem. You ever had a problem where you didn't mix it enough and it was gummy?
Absolutely. Wait, the resin or the silicone? Because I've done both.
The silicone, the silicone.
Unfortunately, I used I forget what type of silicone it was from Smooth On, but it was like this clearer stuff that cured to where you could see through it. At the time, I was like, that's so necessary. I need that. So I tried it out, and I remember not knowing that if you use platinum cure and Intense Cure silicones, You should never have the tools that you are using to mix one another interact with each other, because then you have cure inhibition issues, and that's exactly what I caused. And I remember going back to it the next day, sticking my finger on it, expecting it to like kind of bounce back off to test the hardness of the silicone. And it just kind of sank in. I felt disgusted, but I instantly regretted my decision. I was like, well, what did I do wrong? How did I let this happen? Did some research, but I feel like ultimately, like, there's so much research, trial and error, and just little things that go into it when you're getting started, that really just taking note of every time you fail is the best thing that you can do to move ahead from that.
Yeah, that's awesome. And
Makes
so,
sense.
yeah, I think I can't say that I've made every mistake, but I've made a lot of them recently. So, not recently. We're getting better at it. There's less and less. I make new ones. That's for sure.
I definitely
learning from
pride
them.
myself on my mistakes.
Oof.
Yeah, the path to success is littered with mistakes. That's how you learn. You know, it's easy to win, right?
Yep.
So, going back to your work with Leftover and everything else, I mean, we met you with Ribbit and Fly, and then you went vinyl. That was right at the turn when you were going vinyl. And then, of course, Waffle, which you kept the resin, and then you started doing the Waffle XL, which, you know, I got a couple of those back there as well. Like, I have these, my shelves are all color coded now, so I don't have like a Waffle shelf. They're like the red ones
I
on the red
love
shelf,
what
and
you
the
got going on back
orange
there.
is on the orange and green, so on and so forth. Yeah. So, my daughter loves them. So
I was
just so you know,
gonna
my
say, yeah.
daughter loves the waffle cones. Like every time I get them, she's like, "Oh, for me," and just takes off with them for a few days. But I mean, obviously you're focused on channel right now. It's new, it's exciting. You're gonna start making that up. So I have a few questions around that. But what about the other figures? Like, I know I've seen teases already. There's still some vinyl work on Ribbit, correct?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I actually
Good.
have vinyl inbound as we speak. I've got a shipment. 2021 has been a wild year. You know, I know 2020's been the pandemic, but 2021, it seems like the production side of it really caught up to what was going on last year. And my factory, this order that I'm actually receiving now, was placed back in January. All sorts of material delays, production delays, factory delays.
Oh, yeah.
And things are starting to kind of revert back to normal, which is really nice. So I've got a Halloween release, which is upcoming, which is going to be really nice. I'll be releasing that beginning of September. And there should be another one coming at the beginning of August, first or second week. Those are two that I'm really, really excited about. They're variants that I've teased a little bit for those who have been paying attention to social media. One I know has been one that people have been asking for since pretty much the beginning, which I'm thrilled about. That'll be the one coming up for Halloween, probably early September, mid-September. Got to make sure that that gets to everybody before the big spooky day.
Nice.
Well, I'm a big Ribbit fan, so I definitely want those.
Yes, I appreciate you.
Yeah.
I appreciate everybody who's still out there for Ribbit. I know that it's not necessarily the most popular of the Leftover Toys characters, but it's absolutely my baby, and it's the one that I want to support the most. Like, I know I have the other characters, but that's the one that I want everybody to have in their collection. And I've got a lot planned still, and a lot of designs that I still want to explore. For instance, the astronaut. I know that's one that everybody has been really looking forward to.
Oh, yeah.
That's finally going into production now that I have the new figures on the way. And our first retailer exclusives are also in production soon, which I'm really excited about. I can't say yet because they're going to make announcements and they'll share all those details.
It's a retailer we know, though, right?
Absolutely, yeah. Okay. No, it's a retailer everybody knows and is probably familiar with, has shopped with, at least once or twice.
Once or twice.
Yeah, it's hit or miss these days. There's so many smaller collectible retailers that I can't guarantee you've shopped there, but
so it's a collectible retailer, not
yes,
not like a national chain.
No, we're not going Hot Topic yet.
Okay,
no rush.
That's a good way to put it. Good way to put it.
Well, no, that changes for you. It's like I know,
abominable.
Bubble Wrap's been doing a lot. a lot of the smaller ones, Strange Cat, all those have been doing a lot of different things. So interesting.
Yeah,
So,
definitely.
cool.
You guys probably saw the Rebut show that happened last week with Spastic Collectibles.
Yeah.
Where they had all of those amazing artists take their little takes
That
on
was really
Rebut.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Donnie
there
was
was
on
some
here
fantastic stuff.
showing his before he.
Donnie.
Oh, I
Cracker Man
loved
was on here
his
with
the
Scorpion.
Scorpion.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
that
cool.
was fantastic. One of my absolute favorites from that show. One of the most original takes and usages of the form. I love that he just incorporated the frog eating the scorpion. That was perfect.
Yeah, that was pretty neat. He's doing some great work now.
Yeah.
I mean, he sends me pictures once in a while what he's working on because he's just start. The funny thing is that Rebut he did was really like one of the beginning sculpt jobs he's ever done. Like probably the largest sculpting he's ever done.
That's
And so
impressive.
really stressed.
He's a natural talent.
Oh, he's definitely doing some really cool stuff. And yeah, a custom show was fantastic. It's got to be nice to have a custom show like that. To see all kinds of different.
Especially nice because I didn't have to arrange anything. Like they just approached me about getting some blanks and kind of had this idea to organize this. And I said, absolutely, yeah, you have my blessing. Please do it. That sounds great. And they arranged it in the best way possible and got the. I mean, if I were to have arranged it, I feel like the same artists would have been involved. That's how well they did it.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it was pretty cool. It was. I think Christina might have. We were just really busy. I mean, so like we're working on 3 releases right now. And everything we do is resin. We don't have any vinyl. That was just not in the cards this year at all. Yeah, Spastic has been doing a great job. So Advance Your Toys is here. Hey, Eric, how's it going?
It was Spastic that was on, right?
Yeah.
I was trying to remember. Okay, cool.
Yeah, there's a lot. It's funny. A lot of these retailers now are really branching out. And I mean, there's a good blueprint on the higher level, like with Martian Toys and Clutter, right? I mean, that's when you look at those 2 designer toy shops, it's like, those are the ones that people aspire to be in their shows. You want to be in a Clutter gallery. That's like
Someday.
Exactly. Right. It's like you made it. But
there are still some available if anybody's interested, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Check them out. So
I'll share the link.
But I do like that a lot of these small. There's so much room in this community, right? You don't have to be in one of the 2 big ones. There's so much room now in the designer toy world with people like Bubble Wrap and Invasion Toys and Spastic and Strange Cat and you name it. There's so many out there now that are doing shows. I know I'm missing one that Christina's been in a lot of their shows recently. What am I missing? I'll remember their name soon, I'm sure. Right as soon as we're done talking. But anyway, my point is there's so many of these smaller retailers that are reaching out. And the Isle of Misfit Toys, another one, a good friend there that's running that.
Is it Stormy Vault? What you're thinking of?
Stormy Vault's one. Anyway, my point, there's a long list. And so it's really cool to see all of these retailers partnering with these designers to really help differentiate their shops. And and I really do. I love these art shows. Like Barely had one. A bunch of people are doing it now. Where there's a Sync show right now. I think it's going on. Christina's working on a Robin's Nest. Thank you, Christina. Robin's Nest. That's the one I was thinking of. But I love seeing that because I love just seeing people do different things because you never know. I mean, for you, Johnny, it's got to be awesome to see like, okay, here's a blank. See what's crazy in your mind, and you get to see a frog eating a scorpion. Like, wow.
Yeah, you really.
It's like, oh, it's so awesome. Like what people do,
Yeah, you really see stuff that wouldn't have necessarily came out of your own artistic style, but you almost feel like you catalyzed by giving this inspiration to somebody else who saw this platform and said, wow, I'm going to take it and I'm going to make it into this. So in a weird way, I feel like I was inspired or I was part of this like inspirational creative process when they take this platform and turn it into something completely different. And for me, that's the coolest part about these custom shows. And, it might be different for every artist whose vinyl or resin figure gets customized. But for me, that's my favorite part.
Yeah, I couldn't say it better. That's perfect. Now, my favorite character is Waffle. And I don't know if that's what you're alluding to as one of your more popular characters. But although I have plenty of Ributs here as well. But you started, I want to give a plug. So there's a new Facebook group for those of you that collect leftover toys. There's a Leftover Toys Collectors Facebook group. And the reason why I bring that up is that you launched a really cool colorway.
Yes.
That was only available in the group that I missed.
The
But I
first
think
time
there was,
I've done that.
but there's only 2 of them from what I understand, right?
Of the XLs, yeah.
Of
5,
the
I did
XL.
5 of the small and then 2 of the XL.
We actually had a friend reach out by way of another friend, like, do you know them? Can you do anything? I missed him. Like, dude, I missed it. Are you kidding me? Because the colorway was very like it was sort of depending on what you're into, it was very like Monsters Inc. Sully kind of look. The teal and the purples and the.
I was inspired by Wildberry Pop Tarts.
Oh,
But yeah, exact same. Yeah, basically solely all the way.
yeah.
I'm a sucker for Wildberry Pop Tarts. I was eating one and I was like, you know what? This would look really cool on a figure. I'm a simple guy. I like simple stuff. And if I see a color scheme palette I like, I'm immediately like, how can I transcribe this to my figures, my characters? And that's one of the examples of where it came out exactly how I would have wanted it to. Definitely want to do some ribbons in that color way also, just because I love the way that it came out with Waffle.
That's really cool. And my point is on all this is that go join this group because you never know when you're going to drop something special.
Definitely going to do it again.
I'm definitely in the group now.
Yep. Ditto.
And I'm looking forward to seeing. Anyway, also, Clint was nice enough to share the link. I wanted to share a link to the Spastic Collectible show. So if anybody wants to go check out some of the.
There's not a bunch left, but there are a few.
No, there's not. But and I think that brings up your point before, which is now that you're at home and you're eating a Wildberry Pop Tart and you want to make something and you have the molds and you're casting yourself, you can just make it now.
Yeah, exactly.
You're like, oh, that is really
inspiration
cool.
strikes.
See what
Boom.
that looks like now.
Yeah, that's been the most liberating thing about the artistic process is before I feel like I would come up with an idea and I would come up with 10 reasons why not to approach that idea or dismiss the idea. You know, oh, I don't have enough space. Oh, do I really have the resources? Do I need to outsource part of this project for lack of having the space? And I just felt myself coming up with X reasons. And now I feel like if there's a reason, if I'm like, I don't have this, I'm like, well, I have the space. I can make it to where I can have that. I wanted to learn how to airbrush and I just made sure to invest a little bit of what was coming back from selling figures into getting the airbrushing set up. Because that's kind of I'm always kind of trying to reinvest what I'm making from doing this into doing more of this. It's as much of a hobby as it is my job. I feel like
Right.
I want to keep pushing myself to make better figures always.
Yeah.
That gives you that format because I know we are the same way. We'll think of something that would be cool looking, and by having everything here, you can just go. You don't want to wait. You got the idea, and it's burning, and you have the time, and you just want to go see what it looks like right away. And that's why we also want to keep I don't know how many pressure pots we'll end up with, but it's like we always want to have a free one that we can throw something in real quick, and not be like, oh, well, crap, I got to wait till tomorrow when I pull these out. And you can't rush the process. I've tried that. Doesn't go so well when you rush.
Yeah, the one thing that I've learned, the biggest mistake, the one thing that all of my big mistakes have in common is always rushing it, whether it's casting, painting. If I try to paint another coat too fast, undercoat's going to crack. If I try to remove a mold or a cast from a mold too fast, I might end up ruining, bending, otherwise defacing my cast in some sort of way. But I always feel like rushing things is just, it's the kryptonite of the art world.
It's hard. It's hard not to want to because you want to.
Yeah. Because you really want almost like an instant gratification from your artwork because you're like, I made this. Let me see it now. And when you can't really look inside that mold to see what's going on in there to see if your work has been a fail or if it really did come out as good as you hoped, there's kind of that anticipation.
Yeah, absolutely. So a big thing nowadays has been, besides the custom shows, et cetera, are collaborations. I'm seeing more and more people collaborate together on different pieces. Is there any artist out there that you would just die to collaborate with on one of your toys?
That's tough. Like there's so many different styles that I really, really like out there. Obviously, the one person that I would love to see do like their take on my figure is Reese O'Brien, just because he's kind of the godfather of artistic inspiration and designer toys for me. But when it comes to other people's takes, I love the idea of like working with Jason from Barely Available. I've always thought that his style and his ingenuity is really awesome. Obviously, everybody else realizes that he's part of BIM Toy now. But it would really depend on the project. I feel like each character would demand something different. And if it was something completely new, then, maybe even an artist that I hadn't even thought of before.
Sure.
That's kind of the nice thing about this community is each person fills their own niche, and everybody kind of comes out with these anytime something sticks, that is, something's coming out that you really feel like is new and a different approach to something. Even if it's been done before, it's a new approach or a new take on that thing. We're not really seeing the same thing done 50 times in a row, which is nice and always refreshing. But it's what makes working with a variety of different artists in the community such an appealing idea for me.
Yeah,
Sure.
and I would say, definitely. It is a tough question. I mean, we've had the same. It is like, I don't think there's a bad answer to it because every artist has their. I mean, we've worked with so many, or Christina has worked on products for different people and stuff like that. It's like everybody. It's just you just want to see new, something new, and you always do. Just things that you see, Eric. Vancer's like, we just make what Damien tells us to. See, Ben told you. No, they're great. They're fantastic.
Well, you're leading them on the right track because they're always making amazing stuff.
Well, it's not all me. Trust me. I think it's funny when you're saying.
Of course.
It's not me.
I know that they're incredibly talented guys over
there.
They're
freaking awesome. They're great guys, and the stuff they're coming up with, the work they're doing is. We had them on not that long ago. I don't know if you catch the show, but you can catch the replay on YouTube. We posted all these on YouTube so far, so they'll be there, and so that we could be there forever because the conversation is just fantastic. But yes, Eric has been gracious enough to make a couple of things that I've said, but Christina has to make everything I say.
Whoa.
Not, by the way, I didn't say all the things that she makes I've come up with. Probably the best stuff is all Christina. But there's things that I just want, and then if she doesn't sell to other people, I get to have it. So that's works out right.
Win-win.
It's a win-win.
Yeah.
It's a win-win. So onto the channel conversation. When do you think you're going to have a release?
So with molding basically underway now, sorry, excuse me. I'm basically then going to arrange with this local company that I'm going to talk to about getting some packaging made. I'm going to try to go a little bit more intricate on the packaging for this. I don't want to just simple, header card in a bag for it or throw it in a burlap bag. I want it to be a little bit more of an unboxing experience, something that profiles the character for how unique and how different the experience is. But I also want to include with it an instruction card, similar to like most flat pack furniture where you'd open it up and it instructs you how to put it together.
Sure.
Just because I'm sure there's going to be a few people that get it and wonder why this figure is disassembled in the box because they thought this is cute but didn't read the description, and they'll want to know, hey, how do I put this thing together? And I want to make sure I got them taken care of too, so that they'll all hopefully come with that little instruction card in there that just details that.
I like that.
With cute little illustrations, of course.
No, that's not. Yeah, of course.
I like it a lot.
I think it's a pretty cool play. You can have fun with that for sure.
So you think
And
are you
also-
thinking more like IKEA kind of thing?
Yeah, definitely
Okay.
playing with it like that style.
Okay. I like
Little
it.
card in there, give you
Yeah.
instructions. But yeah, with the box itself, I mean, the outer of the box, I wouldn't want it to be as simplistic as, say, a piece of IKEA furniture.
Sure.
But the
understood.
assembly, the general approach, yeah, absolutely.
Well, and I really like your rivet boxes, so I know you got a good idea going there.
Yeah, if I could go in the vein of something like that, since it's not produced by my factory, I want to see if I can get something like that produced locally.
Sure.
So that's kind of where I'm leaning right now.
Nice. I think those are the nice touches to add to it. I mean, I think, and also I think because it is so many pieces, I think it's important to have something that can keep them away from each other.
Yeah.
Not banging around. Oh yeah, you don't want to
Smart.
have a set. You don't have a header card in a bag with just all these parts
Right.
in there, like kind of rubbing on each other.
Yeah. then you get this thing
clanking
that's
and-
all painted and beautifully assembled, and it gets to you and it's disassembled, scratched. Nothing is the way it was
scratched,
sent
and
out.
the antenna. Who knows what could happen there? Those
Yeah.
pieces can be.
I'm glad you're thinking of that. Yeah.
brittle,
Yeah,
so
I want
something that
everything
can-
to be safe, absolutely safe.
Yep.
Transportation, that way it's secure. The antenna was a big part for me. I'm like, I want to make sure the screen doesn't scratch. I want to make sure the antenna doesn't break.
Yep.
So the packaging had to have those two things in mind, and having a little compartment for each of the little pieces to kind of lay in. I felt like that was kind of a huge part for me also.
It'd be really
So
cool
if I
taking your
can
packaging.
get all of those, if I can get all of those features nailed down, I'm going to be super happy.
Be cool if you think about it in the vein of your packaging you're talking about. It's like if you had the big item and then you had like the little plastic baggies with like A, B, C, D.
Right? Yep.
And then your instruction cards like part A.
my god!
Put joint A into column C.
Yeah, column C. Don't mind the scoonchy.
Oh my goodness, that's too good.
Just insert some random J's and random words, and
I don't know.
you're good
There's
to
something
go.
intriguing. I mean, I know you would have a higher class box, and there's something clever about just having like the cardboard box. It's like, obviously.
And I mean, depending on who you get, you could do it multiple ways too.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll do an IKEA edition just for
The
you guys.
IKEA, the IKEA one, the IKEA one could be like the blank. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's the blank, the simple.
Yes.
It has one channel.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
I think that's the best thing about this figure is the ideas for variants is already just kind of pouring out of my head because you've got these great flat panels on the side and top that allow you to approach it in a way that I can't really do with the organic shapes of waffle and ribbit. They're a lot more rounded. But with those flat panels, you can get really illustrative and kind of start thinking about how you can mimic different designs or pop culture elements through the color palettes of the figure itself.
Totally.
Like I'm already thinking of, various Nintendo characters that could get homage through the colors of the TV itself. Just because of the classic nostalgia of the type of CTR TVs that used to be used.
The Atari would be awesome.
Atari would be good.
Think about just think about a faux wood grain case with the black and silver.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
yeah.
that's
80s,
sexy.
that's the 80s
That's so
version.
sexy.
Yes.
With like a wired remote,
Oh God.
Yes.
the big button,
The
knock,
swirly
click.
cord.
That's how old I am, everybody. Just so you know, though, we
Though we all
wired
related.
remotes.
We're all with you, Damien. I knew exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah,
Good.
yeah, exactly. And then they're like just the channel not coming in, or like you're trying to steal cable. Look,
You want the Spice Channel version?
try to get
That's a boob. I see a boob.
Try to get that Cinemax After Dark. You squint your eyes. Look
Right.
sideways.
Tilt your head 50 degrees. Yeah.
Blurry
I like what
bit.
Eric says. It has to have the wrong instructions. That'd be epic.
Oh, have the instructions for something else?
No,
That
no,
was
have
Missing
it-
two screws, and there's for some
Have
reason
the
extra 4
instructions
rubber
reference
bands.
Have their instructions reference a part that has no intention of being in the box. It's just not in it.
Or I like your idea too, Johnny, of having extra parts too. Have
Extra
screws.
parts, like the bag of
They're
crap.
like,
That's
what
like
is this
you're gonna
extra leg for?
have. And then is
That would be
anybody?
funny.
What do you do with that extra box? Like I feel like I don't want to throw it away.
Because you just know. Yep.
Yeah, my toolbox is literally full of like just the 1 or 2 extra pieces from various
Yeah.
IKEA furniture. I'm never gonna use it, but I never throw it away.
Well, you're not alone.
It's a guilt thing, yeah.
And then like a complete set of different size flat wrenches.
Right.
I've got like 40 of those at this
And then,
point.
like the one big
Just do a little
wrench,
Allen wrench.
a
Yeah.
bunch of Allen wrenches with the little plastic grip.
Oh, gee.
There you go. This is awesome.
We're not even at the product yet. We're talking about just the packaging.
We're just- all right, I'm
The
talking about the product.
accessories are just as important as the figure.
Right.
It's
I mean,
amazing. I mean, think about the fun. I mean, I think you're onto something here. Look how excited we're getting about it. I just want that.
right.
Yeah, I
Knobs,
think
the
it's
old
going to be a
knobs.
lot of fun. And I was an absolute child when I got it the other day. I sat at my desk. I started putting the little legs on. I'm like, okay, how does he look with the eyes in? How does the screen look? How can I do it like this? And it was amazing. And I've been excited for this project for months. I'm so excited to finally get a chance to actually share it with everybody, talk about it more. It's hard to keep something like this quiet when you're excited.
Oh, I can
Totally.
imagine. I am terrible with that. Like I would be. Luckily, I have an outlet of a small group of people that I can show things we're working on without revealing them. out in the
Still
work.
waiting to be in that group.
You have to show it because you just want to get feedback. You're proud of something you worked on and stuff like that. But one channel we're gonna need is like the the well loved channel, because like I said before, that's like one knob's off, but it has the metal part where the knob used to connect to. That you have to use a pair of pliers to
You have
turn
to
the
just
channel.
twist the little metal thing.
And then you have like the antenna that's kind of broken with the coat hanger on it instead. And
I'll just give you a miniature vice grip that you can just have pre-attached to the little little knob.
Oh yeah, totally.
Now you're taking me back.
Well, that's the point.
Halloween poltergeist TV, it's just like not in the middle and fuzzy everywhere else.
Is that or having a rivet or a coming out of it?
Oh
my goodness, there's some
3D. Yeah, there you go.
Could do something like The Ring crawling out of the screen.
Yes. I need to do a channel show. There's so many cool things that I feel like artists would do if they did their own custom take on a channel figure. So that might be something to explore.
Oh yeah,
totally.
Yeah. Awesome.
Totally. That'd be really cool.
Speaking of, I want to ask you before we run out of time. Any chance Fly makes an appearance anytime soon in the future?
Actually, I've got 5 resin ribbutts sitting over there in the paint booth. Mm-hmm. They all have pre-drilled holes that will be for magnets for the flies that will be attached.
Nice.
The way that I'll have these set up is they will have the flies. You can basically, the magnets won't be visible on the ribbutts. They'll be covered with epoxy, sanded down, painted, but they'll still be magnetic. The polarity's still there. So with the fly, you'll be able to pop them on Ribbut's tongue, on his eyeball, or on the center of his head. There's going to be 3 little attaching points.
Nice.
Just because I didn't want to limit collectors to just displaying it the one way.
Right.
I know with the older models, you could display it on the eye, display it kind of however you wanted. So this gives back that little bit of variety. With the display.
You're going crazy with magnets, aren't you?
Yeah, no, you give me a little bit of magnets, I turn into a preschooler again. I'm like, can I put it here? Can I put it here? I'm going to stick them together. I'm having a blast over here. I don't know why it took me so long. But I'm hoping with the resin ribbutts sometime next month, with it being close to the 1-year anniversary, I'm hoping to do a lot of stuff over the next month to kind of celebrate the 1-year anniversary of Leftover Toys.
Nice.
Some more limited, some more wide reaching, but all of it exciting.
I'm gonna have to get a channel to customize, and I'm gonna turn it into an actual working Nintendo.
I would love to see it. I would love to see you
playing.
I mean,
just
on your
put a screen in there.
Yes.
Like get a Raspberry Pi connection that's real small.
Or you could get,
yes.
Or get one of those Game & Watches. You could probably find one of those and put that in there.
Whatever. But a screen size, like we just find something that can fit the screen size, and then wire it up, and then put a Raspberry Pi in there, and there you go. You got a little mini.
Little bit of dremeling, and you're good.
I want to see you. I want to see Damien laying on his stomach, eyes up to the screen, as close as you can possibly get, holding the controller.
No, dude, it's gonna clip onto the brim of my flat hat.
It's gonna look like the Virtual Boy from hell.
Yeah,
right?
Virtual Boy from.
But it'll still work better than the other Virtual Boy. But whatever.
You're gonna want one, Clint.
Your eyes won't bleed.
Yeah, right. It's not all just red and black.
Right.
I love it. I love it. I want one now.
Yep. See.
Look
there you go. I had to throw that out there.
Geek together.
Look, get to their pump. Well, we're nothing but we have a lot of creative people around here, so I'm sure we can get some amazing things. So before we go, I know you're working on get your paint booth with all your ribbutts, and you're working on the waffles, and you're so busy. But if we could trouble you, we are working on our own art show for Dahlia.
Oh.
And everybody on the show, you don't have to, because I know people are busy, but we'd love to send you a couple.
Yeah,
Dahlias and get your take on one. And then do what you want with the other one. Like, we just want to get one. We don't know the details. We trust, we're friends with everybody on the show. We'll figure it out. We've been working with Jason, who, asking for his advice on how he did his show, and a couple others. But we want, obviously, being artists ourselves, we want to make it very favorable to the artists and everything like that. So we'll figure that part of it out. But the first part we're doing is we're getting all the blanks made. We're getting our first batch come to us now. It's shipped to us now. So we want to send a couple out to everybody who's been on the show, and get everybody to participate, and we'll find out the timing of it. We're looking probably end of the year, but if not, we're in no rush, right? We're in no rush, so we'll figure it out. So we'd love to send you a couple to work on.
Please, yeah, I would absolutely love to do that. I've got a couple other things that I'll be doing as far as shows earlier in the year in the next couple months, so that's perfect as far as timing and scheduling works out.
Fantastic, because we'd love to see what you could do there. Love the work you're doing. We're big fans. All
Well,
of us
yeah, and I
are.
love Dahlia. I've been wanting to get my hands on one for a while, and albeit, well, I won't be getting my hands on one for myself. I'll be getting another one that will be for me for customizing that one. So, in essence, I will have gotten
Yeah.
my hands on one. So it's
Hey,
a win-win. It works.
as our friend Schlo says, it's artist benefits, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Gotta lean on those.
Can't beat the artist benefits.
Yeah, I'm starting to
You're
get.
in 'em.
I'm starting to get introduced to them. Especially with Eric, I'll be like, artist benefit. Keyword. Help me
Say
out.
what? Yeah.
Exactly. Look, we are at time.
cool.
I don't know.
They are going live tonight.
Are they going live tonight? STS guys have been on a bit of a hiatus of going around since Texas is open and going to every toy show and Comic-Con they can.
Which is very on brand for them, so it makes
very
sense.
on. Hey, it's good stuff to talk about.
Right.
Are you, Johnny? I have to ask you while we're waiting for them to go live and everything. Are you going to be doing anything with Emerald City Comic-Con in December?
We've been actually talking about that a little bit. It's been really weird for us because we just moved to Eastern Washington back in April. So we're now on the other part of the mountains.
Like Tacoma Eastern, or is that
Eastern Spokane? I was
Spokane,
born
that's
over
what
here.
I got
Yeah.
confused.
Okay.
Yeah. Growing up over here, I definitely, it was easy to come back, but coming back was harder because now I'm on the other side of the mountains. With them usually having the convention in March, I didn't really have an issue until I realized that they weren't having it in March.
It's December.
That it's in December now, which makes it really tricky because that pass can be kind of hell for us if we're trying to drive over.
Oh, that pass sucks in March sometimes.
Exactly. So trying to do it in December could be kind of dangerous for us. So I don't think that we'll be doing ECCC, but we'll definitely be at SDCC next year as long as it happens as visitors. And then if they do a more normalized schedule for ECCC the following year, the year after, we'll absolutely be there. But we're going to look into other opportunities for Northwestern cons, whether it's like Rose City. I've got Lilac City Comic-Con that happens here in Spokane, a lot smaller than the bigger ones, but still a good opportunity to meet more of the local community, people that are interested in designer toys and stuff like that.
That's cool. Yeah, okay. That's cool. Do they have flights? Like you could just I
could definitely just fly out. What I worry with if I flew over to Seattle is what about my product? I haven't really done a lot of research into what's the best way to get my product from point A to point B. And that I feel like is going to be the variable that I have to cross. So if they do it again next year in December, and I feel like I'm more prepared for it, and I feel like it's possible to get my product where it needs to be, absolutely, I would love to be at ECCC. This year, I just don't think it's possible for us.
It's close to. It's December. A lot of stuff going on. I mean, we bought our tickets. We plan on being up there, so we'll be there. We will be in San Diego as well. And it seems like a lot of people. I know Jason will probably be there. You'll be there. Reese will be there. We need to have like a Geek Together con there or something like that, like an offsite to bring everybody on the show together to just celebrate together because we haven't been able to see each other in so long.
Yeah, it's honestly with the conventions being shut down for so long, I am just itching for a get together.
Yeah, for sure. Like I think we're going down to Hollywood not in 2 weeks for FunCon.
Funko, nice.
Yeah, they're having the Hollywood show. We haven't seen a lot of people there. We haven't done anything Funko in forever, it seems, except for online.
That should be fun.
I hate online. Terrible at it.
Get
me in person where you could get in person where you can schmooze a little. You can't schmooze a computer. They suck. They have no soul. They don't help you at all.
No.
There's no for you, Damien, here you go. None of that shit happens on the computers, right? It's cold-blooded. They just tell me no. Sold out. That's what I get told all the time. So
I just get that little red circle with the dash in the middle.
Yeah, that's what I get. Everybody knows that Shopify
not even a word.
Fail. Yep. Everybody knows the Shopify fail page. All right, well, looks like STS guys are live, so we can go ahead and rate them. Thanks again, Johnny, for joining us. We're really excited about
you guys. Always fantastic.
Really excited. This will be up on YouTube this week, and I'll send you the link, and I'll link it in the group and everything as well. And for those that missed it, because I love having these conversations. I learned so much personally, and really learning about your product and everything you've done. And what a year it's been. Yeah. Congratulations.
Who knows where it'll be a year from now.
We look forward to the journey.
Yep. I look forward to the LED channel. as it progresses. That's the nice thing about channel. Like you have a natural upgrade path.
That's true.
curved channel is going to be coming
You have,
eventually.
Hey, remember those TV? I don't know if anybody else is old enough to remember those TVs that was like all the rage for a while, that they were building things into units, like the VCR in the television, and the Nintendo in the television.
Did you forget about Fast and
I
the Furious?
lost
That's
so many
the
movies
whole-
like that.
Yeah.
Don't they
That's the
steal
whole
that from the
basis.
back of the truck? Yeah.
Mhm. That's the whole basis for the
Oh.
first movie. Is
Oh,
those
yeah.
things.
I'm dated.
We all are. You're good.
Oh,
man. You're
Trust me,
man.
I'm way back there with you. So,
Yep.
all right, thanks everyone, and thanks everyone
guys.
in the chat.
Thanks,
Look
guys.
forward to actually. Before I go, let me say who I have on next week, because I want to make sure that you know who it is. Oh, he bailed.
Damn.
He doesn't need to
Bye,
be in
Johnny.
this part.
No.
Bye, Johnny. Next week we have Clav. Clav's joining us again, and he's working on a new show with Smy World and a couple other big projects. So that's going to be exciting. So looking forward to that conversation. All right, everybody, we're going to send you over to STS guys now. Assuming the raid works, there it goes.
There it goes.
And as always, what a great week, Robbie. The sack was wonderful today, as always. Not that I expect anything less from the sack.
It's a good sack.
It's always a great one.
We need to record the jingle, Clint.
I need to show up to This Week in Funko, because I have quite the soda AP rant to go on with somebody in the community. So, all right.
Yes.
Talk to you guys later.
Legally.
Have a good week.
Hey, guys.
Peace.
Word on me. Scene.
And scene.